What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 75, and we start today's episode off with a game against Sunderland here at the Stadium of Light, as we're just about to come into December. And as you just saw by my team, I picked a very weak squad, because this game is coming during a period of 4 games in 7 days. And as we take on Sunderland on Tuesday night, it is a Capital One Cup clash as well in the quarter-finals. Arsenal versus Bristol City, Hull versus Everton, and Sheffield United versus West Ham are the other 3 ties. As we take on Sunderland, we know we're the holders of this competition, and I've already mentioned a couple of times it will be lovely to win it again, but it's still the least of our worries. You know, the main aim this season is qualify for the Champions League, second one, win the Europa League, third one, have a better run in the FA Cup. This is the lowest priority for us, so that is exactly why I picked a very weak side. I had a 16-year-old, 5'9" academy product, Ashley Bentley, starting centre-back alongside 70-rated Craig Dawson. It was a very weak lineup, particularly in defence, and obviously Hector Bellerin there as well, only 61 overall, so really couldn't see ourselves getting through this tie, and the first chance would fall to Sunderland, as you'd expect. Seb Larsson having the strike, but Kim Seung-gil, our South Korean goalkeeper, made a very good save. And in the 31st minute here, we try and go on the break with Saido Berahino down the right hand side, finds Danny Ings. Ings takes on his man and beats him with the fake shot. Rise to slide challenge of Virginie, holds the ball up here, he's waiting for a runner, plays it back to Ashley Bentley, our centre back. We hold possession of the ball, pick out Patrick Roberts. Roberts finds Ings. Ings spots the runner Berahino, picks him out, and Saido Berahino scores in the 34th minute and gives us, you know, really a shock lead here at the Stadium of Light. It was a lovely passing goal, and what a lovely little dummy and ball through by Danny Ings, but the volley by Berahino was a very nice one. But I have to say, the former City goalkeeper Costel Pantilimon, well, you got to save that. That's pretty much straight at you, and it goes through your body. So pretty poor goalkeeping, but still, Sunderland 0, West Bromwich Albion 1, and we take the lead in this game. And it really was such a poor match. Barely anything was happening. Sunderland were all over the place. They could barely string 2 passes together. And in the 78th minute, Victor Anichebe does what he always does. He comes off the bench and scores again to seal the game, make it Sunderland 0, West Brom 2. And this was one of the weakest sides we will ever put out in career mode, and the fact that we got the win by 2-0 was absolutely baffling, because Sunderland did not wake up until late on in this game. In the 85th minute, they tried to get themselves back in the game, Adam Johnson's shot being saved by our Korean goalkeeper, and then James Morrison, our former playing, finding Jack Rodwell, and the former City and Everton man, puts it over the bar. And in stoppage time, they come through again, Virginie into James Morrison. Morrison holds up the ball here, and eventually waits for a pass, plays it inside towards Lee Catamol into Virginie, and you can see Sunderland trying to make a chance out of this as Catamol comes forward and shoots the ball wide. The referee blows for full time, and you know, we walked off the pitch 2-0 winners with this very weak squad, with this unbelievably poor defence. It was just unbelievable how routine this victory was. As soon as we got our first goal through Berahino, Sunderland didn't even bother pressing us. Like, they just genuinely let us pass the ball around, and when they tried to pass the ball around, their passes went astray 9 times out of 10. It was just really weird how easy that game was, you know. But it does go to show you just, you know, the confidence of this team right now. You know, seriously, no matter what team we put out, and no matter what opponent we face, no matter what competition it is, no matter how many games we've got coming in quick succession, we still feel unbelievably confident. Like, we just feel as though we're going to win every single game. And, you know, for the most part, we have this season. You know, we've won about 95% of the games we've played, and it's just, it really is that confidence factor, and I'm loving it right now. You know, I really am. In the first 2 seasons, even though we were playing well and, you know, getting the wins in the majority of games, there were still some games I'd slip up in and think, oh yeah, that was always coming, we're not good enough yet. But now, you know, I look at the sides we're putting out, and, you know, even when we are making changes to our side for this game 2 days later, away in the Netherlands to take on Feyenoord in the Europa League, it's still a relatively decent squad. You know, even though I'm still making a lot of changes from our regular first 11, it's still a pretty decent squad with players like Foster and Walker and Carrillo in this team. I'm really enjoying this. But this game was one where it wouldn't matter what team I put out for this game. I could have used all 3 of my goalkeepers as centre-backs in a 5-3-2 formation. It wouldn't have mattered in the slightest, because we took the lead through Victor Anichebe in this game, and then I made a couple of subs. I brought on Berahino and Jason Davidson for a day, and I think it was Carrillo who came off as well for a bit of defensive stability. And in the 60th minute here, you can see those 2 subs come on. It's 1-0 to us. Everything's going well. We're enjoying the game right now. We look as though we're going to claim the 3 points. We only need 1 to guarantee qualification, but we're 1-0 up. Everything's going well. And then you'll see here, Yannick Vestergaard in the 64th minute gets an injury. Now, keep in mind, we've just made our 2 subs a few minutes later. So Vestergaard gets an injury here, but it's just a knock. And listen to what Jeff Shreve says here.
We might get an update on that injury now from our man Jeff Shreves. Jeff.
Physio's up on the touchline, keeping an eye on him as he went over on his ankle. It looks like he's going to be okay.
Jeff Shreves there, right down on the touchline. So, Jeff, thanks for that.
And so as Vestergaard hobbles off the pitch, I didn't actually notice it at first, but if you look to the bottom left of the radar there, as Berahino ran clear to make it 2-0, you would have seen he was indeed off the pitch. I didn't even notice it at first. But because Jeff Shreve said that Vestergaard was going to be okay, and as Berahino scores this goal here to make it 2-0, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, yep, game's done now, we secured the 3 points. I go and make my 3rd and final sub, and again, I didn't realise Vestergaard was off the pitch, but fair enough, that's my mistake, he's off the pitch. But Jeff Shreve said he's okay, so he'll come on the pitch again soon, everything's okay. So I make my 3rd sub. I bring on Tyder for Kyle Walker, just because I thought, you know, we got a game on the weekend, we may as well sub off the remaining first 11 players and use the backup players, because I want to revert back to my strongest 11 for that game on the weekend. So Tyder comes on, Walker comes off. We've now made all 3 subs, and I notice in the bottom left of the radar, Vestergaard is still off the pitch, and Jeff Shreves told us he'd be okay, but obviously he isn't. So we need to substitute the injured player before resuming the match, okay? Because Vestergaard cannot continue. Okay, I'll bring him off. No, we can't do that because, sorry, you're out of substitutions. So the game is telling me that I need to take off Vestergaard. I'm not allowed to play with 10 players, which is ridiculous because teams can do that. That does happen. So we can't play with 10 players. Okay, I'll make the sub. I can't make the sub because I've made 3 changes. And so as you can see, we're stuck in the game because we can't advance because we need to substitute Yannick Vestergaard before resuming the match, as you would have seen there. But I can't sub him because I've already made 3 subs. So the game won't even let me play with 10 men, you know. And again, it does happen, you know. This it may be rare, but sometimes it will happen in real life. A team has made 3 changes, and because of whatever reason a player can't continue, they'll go down to 10 men, and they'll just have to take that player off and continue with a man disadvantage. But I can't do anything. I can't even just back out of the game and have the option to play with 10 men. The game just sticks me in there and says, I'm sorry, but you're stuck now. You know, it's your fault. You made those 3 changes. It's absolutely absurd. And you can sit there and say, well, it's your fault. You had a player that had a knock in that game. But I went with what Jeff Shreve said, and you know, first and foremost, I didn't even expect the game to basically freeze up once I'd made those 3 subs and tell me that I'm not even allowed to play with 10 men. That's ridiculous. That's not even that's not right. That's not right. Yeah, you should not be doing that. It's absolutely ridiculous. But it means that I had to turn the PS4 off because I could have quit the game if I wanted to, but I just turned the PS4 off. I went out in a fit of rage and went to the gym because I was just absolutely furious. Like, I was playing that game and everything was going to plan and I was enjoying it and it was all good, and then that happens. It's like, oh, for goodness sake, EA, like seriously, I really enjoy this FIFA. It's my favourite one since FIFA 11 for gameplay and everything, but the amount of bugs and errors and glitches it has is just ridiculous. Like, again, I will reiterate, Vestergaard was on a knock, and that's probably my fault for not taking him off and just trusting what Jeff Shreve said because he said he'd be okay. But it's like, you know, even if that is the case and even if that is how it is, you know, at the end of the day, you should still be allowed to continue with 10 men if you have a player get injured. It shouldn't just freeze you up in the game. Do you know what I mean? That shouldn't be happening. But what it meant was I had to play the game again, and so that game you just saw essentially meant nothing. That's why I just showed you the quick goals and what happened. So yeah, I was really annoyed about that one, but still, we took on Feyenoord again. I picked the exact same team. We came up against the exact same team in the exact same circumstances, and we did indeed take the lead early on as well. Andre Carrillo got the goal. He ran clear. Kenneth Vermeer seemed to dive out of the way there, and it couldn't be clawed off the line in time. So Feyenoord 0, West Brom 1, but the Dutch side were threatening quite a lot, and Ben Foster had to make a very good save there and keep it at just 1-0 in the 20th minute. So very good save by our captain, and from the corner it's Toonstra, who will cross the ball in for the Dutch side into the centre. It's towards the number 7, but Foster claims it really quickly, and from that we got on a counter, a really quick kick out to Victor Anichebe, who takes his time, a good first touch, even better second touch because it's a great through ball into Brown Ade, who's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Will he score? Well, I take it a bit too far wide, dribble inside, almost lose the ball, but win it back. He finds Kyle Walker, he finds Victor Anichebe, and Anichebe makes it 2-0. So final nil, West Bromwich Albion 2, 1 for Carrillo, 1 for Anichebe, and I almost completely messed up little Brown Ade, but thankfully we recovered the situation and scored. So 2-0 to us, and we are surely on course for the 3 points already in this game as we got off to the perfect start. And in the 41st minute, Toonstra is on the ball for Feyenoord, plays that wide towards Tevreda, back to Toonstra into Jordi Classy. Eventually Feyenoord work their chance with Lopez Cabral striking the shot, but it hits the bar and Kyle Walker turns it behind for a corner. So still Feyenoord 0, West Bromwich Albion 2, and in the 77th minute here, Feyenoord come through again. Lopez Cabral into Toonstra, the number 7 strikes it, but it's a very good save by Ben Foster. And again, we're not just retaining possession or putting it out for corners, we want to go on the counter and score ourselves more goals. And as Berahino takes on Terence Congolo, the last man here, he beats him with a step over, then a fake shot, beats him all ends up, goes through one-on-one, slots it past Kenneth Vermeer, and Saido Berahino, who comes off the bench, makes it Feyenoord 0, West Bromwich Albion 3. And we are going to get the 3 points. All we needed in this game, the penultimate one of the Europa League, was 1 point to guarantee qualification. But you know, we had 3 points secured in this game twice. Do you know what I mean? We played the first game, we were going to win it. We weren't allowed to finish it because of the bug. And you know, I was annoyed at myself. I was sitting there thinking to myself, if I lose this game and somehow we have a meltdown and don't qualify for the Europa League knockout stage, I'll be furious. But despite Feyenoord grabbing themselves a consolation goal, it would prove to be just that, because in stoppage time we actually added a 4th goal. Wellington Silva's shot was blocked. It came straight back to our Brazilian winger, who takes on his man, keeps holding the ball, waits, fake shots around his man, chips it inside, and Berahino gets his 2nd goal since coming off the bench. So that made it Feyenoord 1, West Bromwich Albion 4. Very, very pleased to get the victory in this game. And again, I'm very sorry about the game that never was, if you will, with the very frustrating bug. But even so, I guess that was my fault. I'll take the blame for it, even though it's obviously his mistake. But still, Feyenoord 1, West Bromwich Albion 4. That does mean we are through to the Europa League knockout stages with a game to spare as group winners, which means the final game away in Russia against CSKA Moscow will mean nothing. So very, very pleased to get the win. I was still irritated at the time of that stupid game that never was, if you will, but still we got the win 4-1, and we are already through to the next round of the Europa League. So as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.